We finally got the first Kung Fu Panda 4 trailer, and it looks interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about this trailer. It is so good seeing Po and the gang back again. Well, technically the gang. We'll get into that in a little bit. It's so good to see that Po is back after almost a decade, I think, maybe even longer. But as good and fun and exciting as that is, it brings mixed feelings with it because the trilogy ended so well. I know Kung Fu Panda 3 was probably the most poorly received out of the three. I don't think any of them were poorly received in general, but I think most people would say out of the three, the third is probably the weakest in the trilogy. But even then, it still ended well. And although the door was open for a fourth installment, I'm not sure the story and the plot we got here was the natural next step in Poe's story. At least in my opinion, not right now. With all that being said, this is just the first trailer, so there's a ton of stuff we haven't seen yet, and then obviously we won't know the full picture till the movie comes out. But we learned a ton of new details, a ton of new things in this trailer, so let's go dive into this thing. So the plot of Kung Fu Panda 4 pretty much goes like this. After many years as the Dragon Warrior, protector of the Valley of Peace, Po is now essentially being promoted to the spiritual leader of the Valley of Peace. Pause for a second on the summary. I have one question already coming to mind. Why is Shifu not going to be the spiritual leader? To me, that seems to make way more sense. He knows a lot more about spiritual things. He studied directly under Master Oogway, who, as far as we know, is like the most spiritual person in the Kung Fu Panda franchise. And he has an ability to focus that's way better than Poe's. We don't necessarily know what the qualifications are for the spiritual leader or even what the role is necessarily. I'm guessing that's what Oogway was, but I honestly don't know or can remember if it's been explained before. But in my opinion, Shifu is a lot more qualified than Po for this position.
I met the criteria to be selected, but I wasn't.
But regardless, we need a new Dragon Warrior. I guess this is their way to get Po out. Anyway, all that aside, Po is getting moved up the ladder, and he needs to find someone to fill the role of the Dragon Warrior. So he goes and finds Tigress and gives her the position, right? Or any of the Furious Five, right? That's what he does. That's the logical conclusion here, right? Nope. This new Dragon Warrior is going to be, as far as we know, outside of the Valley of Peace. Someone new, someone we've never met before. To me, it feels like a little bit missed opportunity. Who knows? Maybe in the first part of the film, he tries to do this and it fails. That would be interesting to see. But for me, this is a no-brainer. You just make Tigress the new Dragon Warrior, or you make one of the Furious Five. Originally, one of them was supposed to be the Dragon Warrior anyway. So, I'm just saying. But we got to introduce new characters, so I guess this one's a little bit more understandable. While all that is going on with Po, there is a new sorceress, the Chameleon, a lizard who can shapeshift into anything, who's got her eyes set on Po's Staff of Wisdom. This is the green staff he got from Oogway at the end of the third movie. Anyway, this staff has the power to resummon people from the spirit realm. The Chameleon wants the staff to be able to bring back old master villains and take their power to make her... I'm sorry, I wanted to fit Invincible in again. We don't really know why she wants to become super powerful. The Kung Fu Panda movies have done a really good job at making the villains power hungry, but giving them really good reasons. Or if not good reasons, at least interesting reasons to why they want that power. And I don't see anything different happening with the Chameleon. We just don't know yet. It's the first teaser. But yeah, she wants all the old villains' kung fu knowledge, skills, abilities, and she wants to use that to be more powerful. Anywho, Po needs help in finding and defeating the Chameleon.
How do I find the Chameleon?
He stumbles upon a thief named Zen. I'm honestly not sure how to say this name. A crafty fox who agrees to help him find the Chameleon and raise an army to fight her. Together, the two will work to defeat the Chameleon and protect the Valley of Peace. That's all we know about Kung Fu Panda 4 right now. After finishing watching the trailer, a couple concerns came to mind. First and foremost, and a lot of people pointed this out on Twitter when the trailer released, where is the Furious Five? Where are they? There was a lot of concerns that maybe they weren't going to be in this movie. That has since been denied. They will be in this movie, but it is concerning that they don't even show up in the first trailer, which I think points to the fact that they're not going to have a huge role in this movie, which I think is really disappointing. I feel like every movie we get less and less Furious Five. And I think for the most part it works, because why do you watch the Kung Fu Panda movies? It's for Jack Black's Po. Like, that's why you watch the movies. But I've always really enjoyed the Furious Five, and I think this is a sign that we're not going to get much of them in the movie, which I think is a little disappointing. I think you could have given them way more screen time in this movie, and maybe they will. Maybe there's something in the plot that they don't want to give away, that they're keeping the Furious Five out of the trailers right now. When looking at it like that, I think I'm thinking about this way too much, but it's a shame they're not in this trailer, but hopefully are in the movie more, but it's not looking like it. Second, one of my concerns, this is just another passing of the torch movie. I'm getting really sick of these. I feel like every franchise that I love is slowly just passing the torch to someone new. Sometimes it works, majority of the time it doesn't. I mean, I can name so many movies and franchises that have gone on to a new generation for some reason. Franchises like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Marvel, even Cars 3. We could have had one more McQueen story before he retired, in my opinion. I think we could have seen him at his prime. That would have been so cool. I've only watched Cars 3 once. I can't bash it too much. I need to watch it again. However, I will say this. I think what makes Kung Fu Panda 4 a little bit different is that you do kind of have that master-apprentice relationship throughout the course of the movies. So I think there is a good reason for this, and I think this can work. I think it is kind of a no-brainer that Po at some point would take an apprentice, would teach someone all he's learned. This can either go really well or really bad, and I think it's really dependent on two things. One, how you set up his apprentice, and two, what you do with Po after the fact. I hope this isn't what a lot of modern day movies do with older heroes, is they make them less to make the newer characters seem more promising, more likable, more powerful, have more potential, better fit for the position than the older hero. I hope they don't do that here. I hope they respect and honor Po and all that he's done and only elevate him. And if this is the last Kung Fu Panda we're gonna get, send him off in a good way, but just have him go out at the top, not at the bottom. One of my favorite parts about every single Kung Fu Panda movie have been the villains. I don't think they've missed on the villains once, which is really hard to do. And it looks like the chameleon can be a continuation of that trend. She looks awesome. A shapeshifter? That's such a cool concept. But also, I think her shapeshifting is a clever way of bringing older villains back. I think this is clever. I think this can work. As cool as I think the concept is, I'm not 100% sold until I see this thing, but I'm excited to see how this works out in the movie. Again, I've said it, the previous 3 villains were so good, and they set a high bar, and hopefully the chameleon can live up to it. I think she can. I truly do. Look, I have a lot of concerns, but I'm also really excited to go see this movie. I'm really interested to see what it turns out to be, because even though I've expressed all these concerns, it does have the potential to keep up with the previous 3 films and be another great Kung Fu Panda movie. I truly believe that. There are a couple of warning signs, I don't want to even say red flags, but like yellow flags, you know? This could go off the rails, but I have a feeling it won't. I'm really excited for it. The trailer seems to show that the humor's going to stay consistent with the previous 3 movies, same with the animation. And in the trailer, it truly did seem like Po is the main character, the main focus, which is always what you want out of these things. All that to say, I'm really excited, and I'm really interested to see how this movie turns out. But that's my thoughts on the Kung Fu Panda 4 trailer. If you made it this far, comment skadoosh down below and let me know what you guys think about the Kung Fu Panda 4 trailer. Are you excited? Are you worried? Type all the things down in the comment section. But as always, thank you guys for stopping by. I love y'all. And until next time, peace out, bro skillets.